My love is family to go from around the way. We have culture, conversation, and community. And girl, my locks are locking, period. So y'all, if you're new here, hi, this is how we give it up. Make sure you like and subscribe because we hop right into the things of the things, okay? Angela Bassett did the thing. Crazy in love. Okay, let's get into it. Chrisean is crying in the jacuzzi, and I mean, like, she's crying hard. She's crying real hard. The sister comes into the jacuzzi with her with the old school, like, prayer cloth, you know, the kind that's like, you know, y'all know that white cloth that everybody has. I mean, the girls who grew up in church know what it is. And she gets in there and she's like crying with, you know, and praying over her. The sister Tessa is really truly emerging as the Rock, truly, you know, like Rock is Rock, and she is who she is, but Tessa is given the Rock, and like for real, you get what I mean? This prayer seems to calm her down. Girl, the dog is out there on the side barking. I mean, it was a thing. It was a real emotional moment, emotionally charged moment. Mom shows up and she's like, Mom, where's your teeth? And she's like, I don't know, I lost it. They do a quick little chuckle with that. They're like, Mom, you need your hair done. Like, just picking them apart. So they put the scarf on her hair. Like, listen, this lady that had 12 kids, she can show up however she want to show up. So they kind of catch the mom up and she's like, you know, Sean don't want to have the baby. And she's like, I don't want to have his baby, Mom. I don't want to do this. And she's like, oh, baby, Blue's going to catch up. Don't worry about him. And, you know, and I had 12 kids, Sean. I had four boys and 6 girls. That's not even 12. Child is mad. But y'all know what I'm saying. And she's just like, Mom, but I don't care. I feel like when parents when people in general say that type of stuff, like, but I did it, and so like it doesn't matter if you did it. That's not what I want. Like, I don't care about you doing that. Girl, I struggled so hard and I managed it. I don't care. That's not what I want for me. And that's what Chrisean is saying. I don't think that the mom understood that, and it came off as disrespectful. But I get it wholeheartedly. Sean, I had 12 kids and it worked out for me. Did it? Did it really though? And what kind of life did you give those 12 kids? I mean, on one end it seems honorable, fucking honorable mention maybe. But the more responsible thing would have been like to not have any more children until you can like really afford them a life that was worth living. Do y'all get what I'm saying? I know some of y'all gonna feel me because y'all understand what I'm saying. Chrisean is not trying to hear it. She's like, Mom, I don't care about that, basically. And the mom starts spazzing like, you're the only one of the daughters. You're my only daughter who don't listen, and this, that, and the third. And she's like, yeah, because every time somebody call me, they're calling me asking for money, which I feel like the power dynamics are off, right? Because she's the 11th child, but she's probably the richest, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I'm the youngest, yeah, it's this, that, and the third, but what you really about to tell me when you calling me because your rent is due? You feel what I'm saying? Like, those things really make for interesting dynamics, girl, because you can say whatever you want to say all day long, but I'm not about to take you seriously if, girl, I cannot stop touching my hair. I can't take it seriously if you need, let me borrow $40. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I just cannot, and I understand that. Like, I think most people could. Continues on, and she's like, oh, that's wine, let me get some of that. And I mean, to be quite honest, if I was Chrisean, I would have had them sign an agreement that they would not be drinking on camera. I'm sorry, it is what it is. I would have had legal representation, forge a fucking contract. Y'all cannot be on this show drunk. Y'all just can't. It's too dysfunctional. Mom is drinking. Obviously, she suffered from some sort of substance abuse in the past. I would not have had her drinking. The mom goes on to say, Sean, I told you to stop arguing with this man. You can do what you want or whatever. He can go in there. He can break his own TVs up. He can do his own things. And he don't have nobody to argue with. That's not sensical. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, lady? Chrisean has no coping skills. She has no way to deal with these type of things. And even if Blueface is terrible and he's breaking up his own things, we understand that they both suffer from some mental health issues. They were both lacking in parental guidance. and parental nurturing, so to speak, as children. And we see this in how they show up as adults. You know what I mean? Like, no accountability was, he can go up there and break his own TV, Chrisean, bitch. Like, have you watched your daughter for real, lady? Like, she lacks simple self-regulation. She lacks a few things. Like, it's gonna take her more than to not be engaged in a fight with Blueface, so to speak, for her to not break up some stuff. Like, good night. These moms and how they just enable these kids, these grown kids. I just can't. I'm not doing it with my two. I'm just not. I cannot. I hate to see it. It's a trigger for me. Anyway, moving right along swiftly and professionally. So they're engaged in the money wars. Oh, well, mommy, I sent Mookie $10,000, and what he do? He just got high with my money. And mommy, where was you just staying at? And she like, oh, I'm staying with such, 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 such. Yeah, exactly. You was just homeless. And I feel like, she like, mom, I can't take no advice from you. You was just homeless the other day. That's not what I see for myself. And I feel like Chrisean is kind of lost in a lot of ways, because it's like the whole black tax thing. I know that y'all know the black tax. I don't gotta get into it, because if you over here, I'm sure you know a little, you know what I'm saying, you with the vibe. So, but also too, like, she's juggling the money, the fame. She's the first one in her family to probably even really have some financial wealth, so to speak, and don't really know how to handle her new role as the family financier. Like, you know, it's difficult. It's like if you're the first generation college student, nobody's ever did it. You don't really know. You can't really call mommy to help you because she don't fucking know, and you try to figure it out on your own. And for that, I feel like Chrisean is doing the best that she can. And girl, the mom mentioned something that Blue said about it took Chrisean 1 year, would it take women 20 years, which maybe he's talking about the fame. It gotta be talking about the fame. So then they continue on. They're in the kitchen now, and Rock's sisters get into it. This is Tekashi, and she's talking to, you know, Rock or whatever. She's like, remember that time you came to my house and he was moving my seat and he was doing this? And she like, so what? I'm not a little girl no more. I'm not 23. And like, what are you, sister, 25? You know, the mom is like, I feel like the mom was instigating, because when Chrisean started talking about Tekashi, which I don't know how old this Tekashi is. I'm assuming she's significantly older, and by significant I mean at least 5 years, right? And the mom is like laughing and kind of just like, oh yeah, Tekashi, you know, Chrisean is kind of playing her like, I don't know which person I'm gonna get. This is her 7th personality and this, that, and the third, blase, blase. So sister was just like, I don't know. I couldn't really understand the sister, like, for real. But I feel like she was coming from a place of, this is my little sister and I need to be here to support in whatever way. Like, sure, she was put on for the cameras a little bit. I think she's a sister that looks most like Chrisean, so that I'm going to assume that they shared the same mom and dad. They're very similar when you have kids by the same man, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see the similarities in the children. I'm sure there's a little bit of resentment there, but I think in that moment she really was trying to show off for Chrisean, and Chrisean wasn't trying to hear. She lashed out to me. I saw her lashing out. Her sister comes back in and she's like, man, I just want to go on to the camera and just say I apologize. You know, she's like, I don't care about these cameras. She's like, I know you got to do it for the cameras. And I think what she meant by that was like, you know, girl, I'm here for your show, your TV show. Like, what do you mean I'm not doing it for the cameras? Like, I think a lot got lost in translation in that moment. Chrisean ends up pushing and striking the sister. The sister tried to come at her. Chrisean pulls a, get this hoe out of here, you know, escort her out the house, which is very indicative to what Blueface does to her. We see these kind of patterns being exchanged and dished out to her family now, right? Interesting. I don't know. Maybe the sister's gonna come back and punch her again. I hope this ain't the fight that Miss Natalie Nunn. And if your name was Natalie Nunn, you better still can't inject me. Okay, Miss Natalie Nunn. I hope this wasn't the punch you was talking about, because Chrisean hit her first. And now whether how she responded, was it appropriate? No, whatever. But that just feels different. That feels different than the girl tried to hit me, and it was my initial reaction to her, like, back. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's not, she did try to punch me when I was pregnant, though. Like, I really hope that's not that, because if that's the case, we need to have a deeper conversation. You ready to check me? Now goes outside and talks to her husband Fresh. Then she's still trying to, you know, prove her case and plead or whatever the case. She's like, Sean, we done flew across the country to be here with you, which I can imagine you flying all the way from Baltimore. Ain't that's how y'all say it, Baltimore, to LA. And it's just like, girl, what are you doing? Like, the sister has antics though. The sister be online with the antics. So I can see how, even if she was being genuine in that moment, Chrisean has to have the bombastic side eye, criminal offensive side eye when it comes to her, because it's like, sister, what are you really doing here? So in the next scene we see Blue and Rock, and they are talking or whatever. She is emotional immediately, like you know, she doesn't really know what to say. And he's like, you know, I got into it with my sister and I slapped her. We're talking about the abortion, and Blueface is just like, wow, yeah, that's wild. You know, so what do you think about the abortion? What was they talking about that? Like, that's all he really wanted to know. So they go to the back and they're telling her about the paternity. It's going to take about for you know, a couple weeks. They didn't even say 4, just a couple weeks to get the paternity back. And Chrisean is just looking like, okay, let's get this over with. They draw the blood, they get the swab, and it's done. Mom and Tessa shows up, which it feels like they were late. It definitely feels like they were running late, which is like, y'all out here to be a part of this situation. At least be, you know, show up on time. Like, what y'all so late? What y'all running so late for? So I think it's interesting that this is supposed to be her first doctor's appointment, which she seems surprised about the conception. And a lot of people are like, oh, she didn't go get, you know, seen. She didn't get no prenatal care. When you don't know if you want to have a baby, I think that it's fair to be like, I'm not going to go to the doctor, because I feel like when you go to the doctor, it's like official now. Like, I'm having this baby. That's typically what happens in the standard, unfortunately. They do the ultrasound, and the girl is 20 weeks pregnant. She's like 5 months. She's like, so is it too late? Yes, girl, it's too late. It is too late. You have 40 weeks in a pregnancy, sister. You're halfway there, girl. My sister was halfway there talking about something. Is it too late? Yes, it's too late, ma'am. East in the state of New Jersey, what they're doing over in California, that's something completely different. But over here, in most states, 20 weeks is I don't know, maybe 20 is the cutoff. I don't know. But you know, these abortions, girl, they be funny. They be having like a whole bunch of processes. You can go to do a 2-step, a 2-3 day. And listen, I'm not here to judge, but damn, a 2-day process sounds intense, okay? So they looking at the baby, they looking at the lip, and you know, they talk about the conception. So the doctor's like, okay, so that means you were conceived, or you know, in or around about December. And she's looking at the wheel. I mean, it's all funny. Like, if you've ever had a baby, you know, it's like, damn, well, I got pregnant, and you add 4 weeks and then -2 and then the due date. So she's due September 19th. She's about to be approaching having this baby. I feel like that time flew. And Blueface is like, nah, because you was in Baltimore around about that time. I don't know who this character was. Maybe it was her cousin. And she was just like, yeah, you had her at the high school with some nigga. And she was like, oh, that was a business deal. What business deal is you putting together, ma'am? And I mean, not for nothing, but you ain't putting no business deal together when she was just in Baltimore regular. So who were you to be putting together a business deal? And she's like, you know, Blueface is just like, well, I already deal with 1 lie, I can't deal with 2. And I feel like Blueface really talks slick. Like, he says whatever he wants in front of her family. He does not care. And she's so quick to protect him. Stop talking to him. Stop talking to him. Like, girl, the brainwash is real, okay? The indoctrination of it all. So they come out and the doctor is, you know, or the mom is talking to Tessa or to Chrisean, and she's like, Chrisean, she's like, I know, mom, the baby's big as hell, I already know. Which is just like, girl, grow up. Stop talking to your mom like that. She's just trying to help you. And she's like, well, I have to tell Blueface and this, that, and the third. She's like, she's going to be in trouble. I don't know if she meant that by physical trouble, by trying to have the abortion. I mean, listen, having a baby physically in a hospital, you in trouble, girl. Molly, you in danger, girl. Like, it's some things that go along with childbirth, laboring, and all of these things. We know that Black women do not receive the same amount of healthcare attention, pain management, all of these type of things when giving birth, and often ends in fatality, whether for the mother or for the baby. So I don't know if she meant like she's in danger for trying to have the abortion or in danger of trying to have the baby. Either one, girl, it's a toss up. She might be in danger just her regular antics. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Face talks to Tessa and he's just like, yeah, well, we're trying to reestablish trust. I do think that there was some infidelity on Chrisean's part, and she can say she loved him so much and this, that, and the third. Chrisean drinks a lot and she has them tattooed up and this, that, and the third. But she gives me like, she played around before. What y'all think? Y'all think she played around? I think she played around before. Because Blueface is so... But then again, Blueface is so like narcissistic that like even if she never really somebody, maybe a conversation, and that to him is like the end all be all, when we all know that he's around here walking around with Jade and Alexis at any given moment. I don't know. This was a good episode. We're going to continue to review and watch. Make sure you like and subscribe, okay? Let me know what you think. Drop down in the comments. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.